Look, Mattis has been revered by those in the military as a strong and cerebral leader, but he has cautioned against a couple of things. The threat posed to the West by Russian President Vladimir Putin. He's taken positions against torture tactics. Of course, Donald Trump has just said the day before yesterday that he's okay with it if Mattis is okay with it. He is not, and he's in favor of maintaining bonds with NATO, which up until today, Donald Trump had said he felt NATO was obsolete. Okay, so as we look forward to all of this, as the president is expected to speak over the phone with Vladimir Putin of Russia tomorrow. Joining me now to give us his take on how President Trump's relationship with Mattis unfolds and how Mattis will influence U.S. foreign policy, Fox News strategic analyst and retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters. By all accounts, Colonel Peters, you have President Trump thrilled with General Mattis, of course, but it's almost as if we're approaching some type of showdown between these two. Who backs down on issues like torture and NATO?
Well, first of all, Liz, I've got to congratulate you on your strategic triumph on Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
Very important there.
We've done good. We've been fighting a good battle.
Not bad for a redhead from L.A. But,
Thanks.
Look, let's hope it doesn't come to a confrontation. General Jim Mattis, whom I've been privileged to know somewhat for about 15 years, is a man of deep experience, profound knowledge, and above all, flawless integrity. And that's not pablum. He is truly a man of ironclad integrity. And so he's my bellwether for this administration. As long as Jim Mattis is in the administration and thriving, we're headed in the right direction. Okay. Should at any point he be compelled to resign, I'd worry.
Okay. Well, boy, let's not fast forward to that for a moment. Yeah. There are a couple of things, Colonel, that I want to point out here. Number one, on the right-hand part of our screen, we have a ticker symbol GD. That's General Dynamics. They make a lot of defense equipment, among them submarines. Last night on Sean Hannity's show, Donald Trump mentioned that he wants to cut the Navy's submarine price. He wants to order a lot more, but he wants to cut the price. This is music to a lot of taxpayers' ears, is it not?
And it should be, because in the defense industry, we have what I call legalized corruption. It's impossible to kill, or virtually impossible to kill, big-ticket items once they're on their way. Major defense contractors have been able to con their way through by taking really anti-competitive measures, diffusing jobs throughout all 48 to 50 states. And the bottom line is this: our defense industry can provide by far the finest weapons in the world, but the price is often exorbitant and padded, and too often our troops get weapons that don't work. So my rule is very simple. All weapons, ARA, they should be appropriate, robust, and affordable. Too often they're not. So on that count, I think Jim Mattis and President Trump will be strong allies on that. And it's hard to pull the wool over either of those guys' eyes. It's just be interesting to see what happens. But I'm fascinated that General Dynamics is actually jumping right now 4 2/3%. We're looking at Lockheed Martin. It's slightly lower. Boeing is also slightly down. But Donald Trump has zeroed in on them and mentioned them by name, saying cut your prices on things like the F-35 and Air Force One. Listen, maybe General Mattis has already won the first battle, and that's regarding the respectability he feels NATO should have. Listen to what Theresa May said during the joint news conference today with Donald Trump. We found this amazing. I wonder what you think. Listen.
We're united in our recognition of NATO as the bulwark of our collective defence, and today we've reaffirmed our unshakable commitment to this alliance. Mr. President, I think you confirmed that you're 100% behind NATO.
100% behind NATO, Ralph? That's interesting. We hadn't heard that before.
No, and let's hope that that is accurate and enduring. Because for all the complaints about NATO, and I spent much of my military career working under the NATO mission in Germany and even at Fort Hood, Texas, and I will tell you that peace is cheaper than war. NATO is the most successful peacetime alliance in history.
Well, then what happens with Russia? Because tomorrow is the big phone call with Vladimir Putin. Are you concerned that Donald Trump will continue this sort of, well, they call it a bromance. I think that's way too relaxed of a word here, but a relationship that is very close?
My most profound concern about the administration is this relationship, still very vague in some ways, between Vladimir Putin and our president. And make no mistake, Vladimir Putin is our enemy because he has chosen to be our enemy. He has nothing to contribute to our fight against ISIS. He wants everything, and he wants it now. And so I have seen 2 American presidents in a row get snookered by Vladimir Putin. I don't want Putin going for 3. So I'm concerned about the phone call. I hope for the best. I am encouraged that we heard today that it's too early to lift sanctions. Just don't lift sanctions. That's the bottom line.
Good to see you. Don't lift sanctions. We shall see. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, thank you so very much.